Why I Like Halloween, a Little Landel Halloween Classic Book. Why I Like Halloween, written by David Billman, illustrated by Steve Harpster. It was a gray autumn day. The sun barely peeked through the thick dark clouds. Fallen leaves danced wildly through the streets. There was a chill in the breeze that announced today was Halloween. At Greenville Primary School, Ms. Hudson said,
"Good morning, children. Today, I would like you to write an essay."
A few faint groans came from the back of the room. Oh.
Your topic is why I like Halloween.
As some of the girls whispered about their essays, Marvin leaned toward Pedro.
"This is gonna be fun."
"It sure is," said Pedro.
"Well, what's with that new kid, Terry?"
Terry stared off into space. Then he chuckled and chewed the eraser right off his pencil.
"He's kinda weird,"
said Marvin. Pedro nodded. "I'll say." Soon everyone was busy writing. In the afternoon, Miss Hudson announced,
"All right, class. Let's read your essays. Cassie, why don't you go first?"
"I love Halloween," said Kathy. "We go to a huge pumpkin patch on a farm. My brother Mikey and I get to choose a pumpkin. He calls them pumpkins. We draw faces on them with crayons. Daddy cuts off the tops, and we scoop out the squishy stuff with big spoons. To carve the faces, we use special knives with rounded tips, so we don't get hurt. Dad puts candles in them and lights them. The jack-o'-lanterns look creepy and funny."
Mrs. Hudson exclaimed.
"That was very good, Cassie."
Then Terry jumped up and waved his arm, but Miss Hudson just said,
"Paul, would you read next, please?"
"Instead of trick-or-treating," said Paul, "I invite all my friends over for a party. We decorate the house with spooky stuff, and Mom bakes cookies that look like bats. We play blind man's bluff, bob for apples, and we have races where we carry walnuts and spoons. It's awesome."
"I played those games when I was young, too,"
said Mrs. Hudson. Again Terry waved his arm.
"Not yet, Terry,"
said Mrs. Hudson. In response, Terry snorted like a pig. Everyone stared at him.
"Terry,"
said Mrs. Hudson.
"be patient."
Now it was Sue's turn.
"My favorite part of Halloween is dressing up in a costume. My mom can make anything. Her costumes are better than the store costumes because they're made just for me. I've been a mermaid, an angel, and even a teddy bear. Mom also enters me in contests at the mall. Last year I won first place as the Statue of Liberty."
"I know, I'm eager to see your next costume,"
Miss Hudson said.
"Marvin, if you would be so kind."
Terry made a low snoring sound, which Marvin decided to ignore. Marvin said,
What I like about Halloween is the monster movies on TV. I get to stay up late and watch them with Mom and Dad. We sit in our living room with lights out and eat big bowls of popcorn. I like seeing the movies again and again. My favorite is Midnight Snack. These people are in a castle and they don't know Dracula's having a party for his monster friends."
Terry dug his fingernails into his desk hard. Everyone heard them scratch.
"Let me read mine,"
he exclaimed. Mrs. Hudson said,
"Please wait your turn, Terry." "Keiko, would you read next?"
favorite Halloween thing is decorating," said Keiko. "I like drawing and cutting paper to make black cats, goblins, and witches. Sometimes Marvin comes over and we decorate the front porch with pumpkins and fake spider webs. Then we make dummies out of my father's old clothes and ghosts out of old sheets."
Mrs. Hudson said,
I drove past your house this morning. Very scary. Now, class, I think you will find Pedro's essays very interesting.
Terry squirmed in his seat and chewed off another eraser.
"My family's from Mexico," said Pedro. "We don't have Halloween. We have the Day of the Dead. It is when ghosts are supposed to visit. Mama cooks a feast of chicken and tortillas. Papa and Uncle Manuel leave out toys and food for the ghosts of children. The whole town is decorated with statues of skeletons doing things we do every day. Working, playing, making music. We have carnival rides, picnics, and candy bones."
How interesting, Pedro,
said Miss Hudson.
wasn't it, class?
Everyone but Terry nodded.
Laura, would you read yours?
I like hearing scary stories. On Halloween, my big brother Jerry and his friends sit around a fire and tell stories. My favorite one is about the ghost with hairy hands. Being scared is fun if you know you're not going to get hurt.
Terry waved his arm more fanatically than before, knocking loose papers and chewed pencils to the floor.
"Miss Hudson, may I read mine, please?" he asked.
Very well, Terry. Proceed.
Terry looked around the class with an odd gleam in his eyes.
"There are lots of reasons why I like Halloween," said Terry. "Spooky movies and decorations and all that candy. The costumes are great too. Everybody gets to be somebody else, like Hercules, a lion, or a scary monster. But the thing I like most about Halloween is it's the only time of year I can really be myself."
Suddenly, Terry's mouth stretched into an impossible wide, impish grin. His ears spread out into large, leafy points, and his skin turned green. Keiko said,
He's a goblin! A real goblin!
"Be sure to save me some candy tonight," said Terry. "I do love candy, you know."
Then he hurried to an open window and leapt through it like a cat, streaked upward into the dark sky. His shrill laugh slowly faded. The classroom became very quiet. Everyone just stared out the window.
"Wow," said Marvin, breaking the silence. "That's a good essay."
Then, from way off in the distance, they heard that same shrill voice.
Happy Halloween, everyone!
Called Terry.
Happy Halloween!